Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M44, the Tier 6 American SPG. This one's on the westbourne of Karelia under the command of BertholomaeusRexodus44x2. Don't know what that's all about, but anyway, he's actually in platoon with two tanks in this game. He's already in platoon with the Cromwell B and also with the BK2801. And they're off in the field. You can see them heading north at the moment, whilst Bartholomaeus is actually finding a firing position that will suit him. The M44 is a 155mm howitzer mounted in a Walker Bulldog hull, and they built 250 of them, or if you believe that might be the case, they don't actually know how many were built. Yes, I know that's a bit surprising. You'd think you'd know how many vehicles you actually manufacture, but, well, they were sold to quite a few countries. What he found in his first snapshot on that T-52 was moving very, very aggressively and evasively by changing course rapidly. And, of course, it did help because, of course, he didn't get hit by the Arty round. This Tiger 131, though, looks like he's actually just not concerned. T-52 went to the bush, and it looks like that shell exploded well short of the target. Now it's 155mm howitzer capable of 500 alpha after being nerfed, 39mm of pen, and 6.7 meters burst radius. So that shell landed well short of the T-52, but he'll give it another shot, and that time it was bang on target. And it struck the T-52 for 198, so that's a non-penetrating shot. But the T-52 goes down immediately afterwards, and he picks up some stun assist. In fact, it was one of his platoon mates who got the kill. So I'm sure he'll be happy about that, because of course he gets some extra credits. Okay, well, we're looking down at the South Pass, and we just saw an M6 parked at that position, using that rock for cover. Well, the shell landed where it was supposed to go, but we don't know if we hit anything there because he might have moved. In fact, he did get stunned because we've just picked up some stun assist off that M6, and we can see that the shell landed right next door to the M6. Probably knocked his tracks off. Gonna give it another go. Rounds out, and another direct hit, this time for 130. Now, the reload time of the M44 was drastically changed after the nerf by Wargaming. Originally, it was around about 19 seconds, and you could get it down to as little as 16 seconds, or just slightly more than 15 seconds. Oh, and a direct hit there. Yep, he definitely got a direct hit on the IKV-90B. Switching back to the Tiger 131. Yeah, so Wargaming originally had the, before the nerf, at 19 seconds by the book. And that tank goes down to our platoon mate in the 2801. But of course, when they nerfed it, they actually increased the reload time to 25.89 seconds. As you can see here, Bartholomaeus has got it down to 21.45. So he has improved the reload time, but nowhere near as good as it used to be. It's a good 6-second difference between the reload, and that was Wargaming's way of saying, well, the M44 is going to become severely handicapped or even crippled by that change, and that therefore tank players won't have to worry about the shells coming in so often, because Wargaming's made it impossible for the M44 to be practical. People are still playing it though, and they're still good. Doesn't take away the skill. That's the thing that Wargaming misses out on, you see. Doesn't matter how much you nerf an Arty. Arty players are still going to play it, but they'll play it differently. But they still have the skills that they learned when they first achieved that Arty, and any other Arty for that matter. In fact, a lot of players have now switched their Arty, and they actually go for the SU-8 because it's got a similar reload time to the original M44. Rounds out the T-34. Oh, he took a direct hit there. 110 hit points. Our other platoon mate in the Cromwell B is guarding the cap area against that T-3485M. Meantime, we're looking at the MX-1357. He's trying to sneak through the swamp area. That's the premium MX-13 with the 57mm gun. And a very wicked fire rate, but we're now looking at the T-3485M, who's trying to get a shot on our Cromwell. We're almost reloaded. He keeps popping up to take a shot when he's reloaded. Rounds out. Yep, he takes another direct hit for 125. Now, things are not going so well in this game because we're actually 3 down. And I think most of the losses have actually occurred in the south end of the map, although we have lost a few tanks that actually went north up towards the corner. See, that T-3485M is looking a little worse for wear, and now he's even worse because now he's a one-shot. And he does go down to our platoon mate in the Cromwell B with the next hit. So he's out of the game, and we're looking now for a new target to shoot at. Now, as far as we're aware, there are 2 enemy tanks right up on top of the horseshoe, a VK-3002D and a Super Hellcat. We can't see them, so that's why we can't shoot them. We need somebody to get close enough to actually proximity spot them, and our T-29 is doing that right now. IS-2, South Pass, rounds out. He pulls back, and he takes the hit. Unfortunately, we don't know how much damage was done, but we do know he definitely hit him, because there was no explosion. Now, one other thing that Arty players do is they really look hard for new targets to fire at in any game. You can see at this moment, he's looking around, searching for a target. You can see the wreck being pushed. That Type 58 is moving, and it's dead. So it has to have somebody sitting behind it. Now, at this moment, he's having a quick look round whilst holding down his right-hand mouse key, so he can look elsewhere and still keep the reticule on the target. He's just spotted the Super Hellcat up on top of the horseshoe. The T-29 did go up there, and we tried to get a snap on the Super Hellcat and it failed. Our T-29's down to his last hit points, and unfortunately he does get taken out by an SU-100. And now we've got enemy tanks getting very close to our cap area, including that Tiger 131 we saw virtually at the start of the game. Rounds out. No, that didn't work either. And that AMX 1357 is getting very, very close indeed. So I think this is going to take a lot of our attention. There's our platoon mate in the Cromwell. He did get a shot into the Tiger 131, but the AMX 1357 is trying to come up behind. He spotted us, and he's starting to fire rounds in. We pumped around in his direction. But the AMX 1357 got a shot in that hit the target, and Bartholomeus is out of the game, unfortunately. Now at this moment, we're following our platoon mate. We switch to him straight away. He goes down, taken out by the Tiger 131. There's only 2 of our team left. One is the SMV CC56. The other one's a Type 64 hiding in a bush in the swamp area. Now the SMV CC56 is guarding the South Pass. The Type 64 was spotting for us, but he's actually just passive at the moment, whilst this guy is just trying to stop the enemy from coming in from the South Pass. But unfortunately the enemy is behind him, and therefore more than likely he's going to get shot in the rear when they get close. The Type has probably been spotted. Yes, he has been spotted. And once he's been spotted, he's moving to try and get out of the way. He has got into cover, but unfortunately now he's kind of trapped because they know where he is, and they've got him in constant sight. There's the proximity alert again. The IKV's coming in to try and get a shot. And unfortunately, there's not a lot he can do. He's going to go down. Yeah, he just got hit by a 122mm round and then rammed to death. And the kill shot actually went to the SU-100. And that's it, the game's over. Here's the end of battle results, and despite the fact that he didn't get a mastery ranking in that game, BertholomaeusRexodus actually got his third mark of excellence from that game because he did do a sizable amount of damage and he managed to get up to the 95% mark. Well, he also got a bruiser medal as well for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 5 exactly. His win rate on that game was 2,454, but sadly it was a defeat because the rest of his team was overwhelmed. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see that he did get the highest damage on his team, but the highest damage actually went to the tank that killed Bartholomaeus, and it was the AMX1357. He got a high caliber at 2,793 hit points of damage. Second highest damage was their Super Hellcat, who got 1,934. He also picked up a Confederate. And the third highest damage was Bartholomaeus. Yes, he got 1,757 hit points of damage. So at least he's third on damage. When it came to kills, though, it was actually the AMX1357. He was going around and doing what the AMX1357 was designed to do, to act as a little assassin and a light tank. And he got 4 kills in that game. 2 kills went to the Super Hellcat, the IKV-90B, and the SU-100 on the enemy team. And on his own team, the T-34-1 managed to get 2 kills. So did his platoon mate, Cheo's boy. He got in the Cromwell. He got 2. And the T-29 also picked up 2. And Bartholomaeus didn't get a single kill in the game, but he did do rather well. And when it came to base XP, yes, the enemy team comes out on top this time. And it's 1,401 went to the AMX1357, 874 to the T-3485M, and 834 went to the VK3002D, with Bartholomaeus coming second on his team on base XP with 394, being only beaten by his platoon mate in the Cromwell B, who actually managed to get some spotting assists, and I think that's why he did better than Bartholomaeus did. And the other platoon mate in the VK2801, well, he got 190 hit points, and he did get a kill in the game, and 206 XP as well, so at least he did get something out of it. Bartholomaeus fired 15 rounds, so it was a decent game in terms of shots fired. 8 direct hits, 1 penetrating shot. Now, I'd be very interested to find which one he actually penetrated in that game. Excuse me. I think he penetrated... Well, I looked at the light tanks there, and it's not showing the light tanks. It was the IKV-90B. That was the shot that was fired into the northwest corner of the map. And yes, they do have fairly thin armor, the IKV-90B, especially if you land the shell on top of them, coming down on top of them, because their top armor is not very, very strong. It's very thin indeed. He also got 10 splashes, damage of 1,757 hit points, of which 1,509 were at more than 300 meters. When that AMX1357 got close, he did get a hit on the guy, but sadly it wasn't enough to stop him from then killing Bartholomaeus and taking him out of the game. 4 hits received, 4 penetrating shots. Yes, the MX1357 has got a very fast firing 57mm gun, and he was able to get shots in that strip away the armor very, very quickly and do all the damage. 6 enemy vehicles were damaged, none were killed, but he did get 572 hit points of stun assist off 11 stuns. On a premium count, he actually made a loss for the game of 16,481 credits. He did make a profit off the actual battle itself, but it was the consumables that cost him in this occasion. And of course, as I always advise players, try and buy all your consumables when they are at half price. Pardon me. And then they don't show up on your battle results. And it does actually make the battle results look much better. It shows that you are actually making a profit every time you play the game, even though you had to play for the consumables in advance and store them up for gameplay later on. He also got 591 base XP out of the game. Pardon me. But it was he was doing as well as he could, given the circumstances, pumping in the rounds. He wasn't getting a lot of sights towards the end of the game that was enabling him to do some damage, other than that Tiger 131 and AMX1357 when they did get close. But by then it was too late, because they were so close that they could actually see him, and then there was nothing more that he could do. He couldn't retreat, he couldn't find somewhere else to try and run and fight from, and he needed to back up his teammate in the Cromwell B, so he had to stay where he was. And when the AMX1357 saw him, that's when it was too late now for him to do anything about it. So good game by Bartholomaeus. Congratulations on getting your third mark of excellence. that stays with you on the barrel regardless of how the M44 gets nerfed in the future, because I'm sure Wargaming will try and nerf Arty again. They always do. They've never buffed Arty, they've always nerfed Arty, and it's a great shame on Wargaming that they keep doing that, because we keep getting better at playing Arty and they keep trying to nerf us, when in actual fact they should be congratulating us for being persistent and diligent enough and learning how to play even on the limitations that they put on Arty players. I hope you enjoyed the replay. If you did, please give the video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.